particular, they came from China and the UK. Now they land in the ports of Albany, Fremantle, Perth, thinking, right, we are off to seek our fortune. Then found out their fortune was 600 kilometres inland. Now that long ago, we don't have a Great Eastern Highway, nor do we have a transcontinental railroad. You can hardly go to Perth Station and say, mate, top up my smart rider, I'm off to the goldfields. Everything went on your back. In a pushcart, wheelbarrow. A bit later on, if you look down the back, there's an old bicycle. And away they went. Now the first wave of prospectors arrived smack bang in the middle of a West Australian summer. Now these gentlemen were British tin and coal miners, used to working underground at temperatures around 50 Fahrenheit. All of a sudden they're looking for gold in Western Australia at 50 Celsius. They did not cope. A lot of them died before the age of 40. Things like malnutrition, disease, and especially the lack of water. The reason to put up with all of that, we have some very good ones. We'll start with the smallest. Now, before we do the individual nuggets, a little bit of trivia for you. The 26 largest gold nuggets ever recorded in the world, they all come from Australia. Here's another bit of trivia, thanks to Russell Crowe and Tally the other week. The 10 most venomous snakes in the entire world also all come from Australia. So this is what you look out for. Snakes is what you are wary of. This is a copy of Nugget 23. Now it's better known as the Hand of Faith. It was discovered in Victoria in 1980. 875 troy ounces of gold, 27 kilos, value at the time $400,000. Now that's not bad for something found with a metal detector. But then the news got better for the bloke that found it. Part of the reason for the better news, gold nugget number 1. The Welcome Stranger. 71.5 kilos of gold. 2,284 troy ounces, 11 stone in the old money, or if you're from the US, 154 pounds of gold.
Wow.
It was found in a place called Malieville in Victoria, way back on the 5th of February 1869, by 2 Cornish miners, John Deason and Richard Oates. The unfortunate part for them, the gold weighing set they purchased on arrival in Australia did not go up to 71.5 kilos. They had to put this in a cart, and off they went 10 kilometres cross country. Now just for a minute, imagine you are a prospector. Country Victoria, summer of 1869. The sun's beating down on your head, you're poking around looking for any speck of gold, and 2 blokes walk past pushing this in a cart. Where did I go wrong? They weren't actually trying to show off. They were looking for the blacksmith at Denali, because he had the tools to chop it into weighable pieces. And eventually all the pieces got melted and the nugget disappeared. And so did every other large nugget, including the biggest from the West. February the 15th, 1931, it's the middle of the Great Depression. Jimmy Larkin and his dad got sick of being greatly depressed. Thought, let's go looking for gold. And what better place to start than where Bailey and Ford found their gold, 2 blokes in the statue up the front. Jimmy Larkin was 16, dug this up 18 inches in the ground. Now if you happen to be a 16-year-old boy who digs up a 38-kilo gold nugget, you tend to perform a bit. So did his dad, and that caused the other prospectors to stop what they were doing. They looked across and thought, Jim Larkin, what are you up to? Messing about with that dead eagle. Because that's what it looked like from far away. If I hold it up, look at the shadow line in the campsite. And you can see how it gets the name, not the dead eagle, but in fact the golden eagle, which is a great name and a great shape. Didn't save it. Jimmy's dad said, son, we're in the Great Depression. We need the money. So he melted it down. Got 6,000 pounds, which today doesn't sound like an awful lot. But in 1931 with 6,000 pounds, you could buy your own pub. So they did. Excelsior Hotel in Boulder City. They renamed it the Golden Eagle Hotel in honour of the nugget, and up until recently it was still trading. And then unfortunately the goldfields had a great big earthquake and all those old buildings are looking a bit shaky. Now, back to the good news for Kevin Hillier. He's the bloke that found this with the metal detector. He is also the gentleman that realised number 23 recorded was number 1 left in existence because everybody else melted theirs. So he didn't. Instead, he auctioned it internationally as a collectible piece. Instead of the 400,000 in gold weight, the winning bid, $1 million from the Golden Nugget Casino in Las Vegas. And that's where it is today, in the foyer of the casino. Now, if you haven't left enough time these holidays to zip across to Fremont Street, Las Vegas and take in the number 1 nugget, don't worry too much. 10 metres that way is the number 2 nugget. We have it. It's called the Normandy nugget. It weighs almost 26 kilos. Found near Kalgoorlie in 1995 and again with a metal detector. Now, gold's an extremely dense material. For example, say you get a ton of gold for your birthday.